For today, I'm going to be answering some of your most asked questions on my 3 most popular videos. Pretty much all 3 very similar videos, but I get a lot of questions asked on each one of those videos. I will leave a link in the description above and below, so if you want to check them out, links will be there and there. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the questions. This first question is from Trashy. It says, what size hardware do you need for an 8 deck without risers? Currently running on 1 inch for your first setup since it was recommended, but it feels very loose on the trucks. That's probably just because the hardware you're using. 1 inch is recommended. I use hammer-in hardware, which is this right here. So there's not a Allen head or a Phillips head here, and it's 1 inch all the way through. I recommend that because it never comes loose on the truck, but everybody talks about how they get pressure cracks really easily on the deck itself. That's also gonna happen with every single skateboard. It's not just from this hardware. I do recommend hammer-in hardware. I think Random Skate, if they still exist, they make them if you wanna get them. If not, I would just get a skate tool and tighten up your hardware a little bit more, or just tighten up your chucks, because it could be just loose from right here instead of your nuts from right here. Regardless, you always want to make sure that it is at least tight to the board. You don't want to oval out the holes at all. This, you can have it loose, you can have it tight, it really doesn't matter. The main part is your base plate needs to be secured to the board. Like I said, 1 inch is perfectly fine. I always skate 1 inch. I'm not a huge fan of 7/8 hardware. It's too short in my opinion. And I do run riser pads, so I only do that to help with pressure cracks. It doesn't really do much though. The next question: is $180 expensive for a complete? Yes, yes it is. I would not spend $180 for my first complete ever. I would cheap out for the most part. I would do a cheap deck. I don't need anything crazy. Do generic trucks, really don't matter. But I would spend the money on wheels and bearings. Bones STF wheels is what I recommend. For the bearings, I recommend Reds or Bronson G3s. They're a little bit more expensive, but they are worth the money. They're absolutely insane. So if you want to spend the extra money on it, definitely do so. By all means, you don't have to though. You can also get Rush bearings, the ABEX 7s. They're really good too. Pretty much anything ABEX 7 is good. And you can look to spend between $110 to $140 just on that setup alone by doing cheap deck, cheap trucks, good bearings, good wheels. Doesn't matter for hardware, doesn't matter for grip tape, but pretty much all that right there is $110 to $140. So yeah, $180 is pretty expensive. Cheap out for sure. If you have experience, obviously get what you like or get what you know, and you can obviously afford to go a little bit more expensive after that. Does ZUMIEZ have all the hardware parts available? They should. If not, it's because of COVID, and the skate supply is just very limited for pretty much everywhere. So if you don't have trucks, you don't have hardware, you don't have wheels, you don't have bearings, it's not the company of ZUMIEZ's fault. Just COVID has made it very difficult to ship out anything in general. And this is for your local skate shops as well, not just ZUMIEZ. I'm sure everybody's noticed a short supply of skate supply, but they should have it available. I would just ask, make sure that you are talking to people that are at least knowledgeable in skate experience or have some form of skate experience in general. It's always a little bit easier for you to relate to them or just connect with them in general. Next question from Mariah: am I able to bring my own deck and just get the wheels and other stuff put on? Yes, yes you are. For example, if I wanted to bring in my ugly, terrible Bob Ross deck and bring it into ZUMIEZ and get it gripped up and complete, then by all means, yes, we're gonna do that. All you have to do is just ask. We do it all the time. If you want to re-grip your board, we will re-grip your board. Some ZUMIEZ will not because it's a hassle, and we do recommend that you pull up your grip before you bring it into the store, but we also care about that customer experience. So if you would like to bring your board in and have us re-grip it, we'll do that for you as well. So the answer to that is yes, yes you can. How much is a skateboard with all the parts already connected? So you're asking about how much are just complete decks in general. They range in price. You can get some for as cheap as 64 bucks, I believe, on the website. You can also pick them up for as much as $99, $100, $120. It really varies in price, but the average price is looking about $100 to $115. That's what I would say. Next person's from Cuddles XX, cute name. Hi, I am new to skateboarding and I'm looking to buy a board. What length and width do you recommend for it? Also, very nice video. Thank you for the compliment, I appreciate it. So it really depends. One, I would say what's your age, what's your height, That really doesn't matter. Like shoe size doesn't really matter, but if you are a very short person, you might just get a shorter board. Say if you're maybe 3.5 feet. If you're this tall, I recommend getting a shorter board. You can still skate a normal size board like this one, which is about 31, 32 inches long. That's from here to here. It's about 31 inches, 32 inches long, 8.25 across. That's just the size that I skate. That's the size that I ride. I've been on sizes from 7.5, 7.75, 8, 8.25, 8.5, 9, and 10-inch boards. I've been on pretty much everything. So I have a wide variety of what I like to skate for the most part, and 8.25 and 8s have always been the thing that have like brought me back. So I always recommend that size, at least an 8 to start off. That's kind of a perfect size. But if you are shorter, if you're smaller, if you have a smaller foot size, you might start off on a 7.75 or a 7.5, and the length really doesn't matter too much. But if you're incredibly short, or if you're, say, like you're 4 or 5 years old and you're getting into skating, you might get like a 29-inch board, which is basically from here to like here or so. Don't really know if it's accurate, but pretty close to that. If you're short, really short, 29-inch board, start with a 7.5 and then work your way up to 7.75 in a normal size popsicle shape. But again, the size really doesn't matter. It's just what you're going to do to get into skating. And then once you get experience, once you figure out how to do stuff, then you can actually be more specific about what you want. And this next one is a very common question that's asked. Is it an extra charge when employees help you build your board, and if so, how much? The answer to that is no, there is no extra charge. ZUMIEZ as a company does not charge you to build a board. That's something that we do for the customer experience, and also if you want to dive in and learn how to do that, by all means, you're welcome to learn how to do it. We actually encourage you to ask us questions while we're building it. Or at least I do. I encourage you to want to learn the process because I think it's important for you to know how. I think it's just really cool for you to know how to build a board, which is why I made those 3 videos. So no, it's free of charge. Just ask us whenever you get in the store if we'll build it for you, and we definitely will. This question is kind of random. I see it a lot of times asking for help on getting a board. It says, does anyone have an old complete they don't use anymore that maybe I could have? So for that question, I see it a lot. I'm doing a monthly giveaway. If you didn't watch the last video and stay till the end of it, I announced that I'm going to be doing a monthly giveaway starting October 31st. I will send out the first deck for monthly giveaways. Another way for you to get an old complete would be to look up on Facebook, see if anybody's selling them on Facebook, go to a local skate shop or a skate park and see if they have anything that somebody's left behind. Occasionally people at ZUMIEZ leave their stuff behind, so you can try to pick one up from ZUMIEZ as well. I know I have a bunch of decks in the back of my store, but I would recommend going to a skate park and just see if anybody has any leftover boards that they're not using. Do I have any boards that I can give away? I know you're not asking me. I don't have a complete, but I am doing random monthly giveaway winners. So if you would like to enter that, just make sure you leave a comment on this video and you watch the rest of my videos and you're subscribed. All right, this video is going on a little bit long, so I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit more. Next question is, what size truck do you recommend for size 8.0 boards? Every single company out there for trucks has their own size chart, so I recommend Googling the size chart for the trucks. I'll pop up a picture. But independents, I would typically recommend a 139 for size 8.0, and for tensors, I would recommend 5.0, and then for thunders, it's 145s. Everybody is different in their size, truck, category, whatever, but just Google it. That's the only thing that I would recommend. This question is pretty self-explanatory, but what do you buy to complete the whole skateboard? Deck, grip tape, 2 sets of trucks, wheels, bearings, hardware. 7 items. There's 7 items to complete a skateboard. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video, so thank you for watching. I know this was very long and it went on longer than I needed it to, but I really wanted to try to answer as many questions as possible. So if you have more questions that I did not answer, leave them down in the comments below. I would love to answer as many as possible, and then make sure you check out the giveaway videos that are going to be releasing in the future. Like I said, we are doing monthly giveaways, so make sure that you're commenting, make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and you're sharing the channel or sharing the videos. I really appreciate it. And the better they do, the more comments they get, the more giveaways I'm able to do in the future. So that's it. So hope you'll have an amazing day. Hope you'll have a great experience at whatever skate shops y'all go to, whether it be local or ZUMIEZ. Just have an amazing time, and I hope the customer experience is great. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all so much for watching. Later, guys. Wow.